tackle the golden questions everybody has been asking me lately. Between the new launch and resale in this high price environment, which is actually a smarter buy? Do watch to the end of the video, especially if you are curious about the comparable numbers between resale and new launch and how they stack up to each other's, and we're going to break them down in details shortly. So we do this all the time with our clients to run through numbers, timeline, as well as exit strategies. So if today you are still deciding and you're unsure, you want to actually drop a message with the word compare, and we will actually reach out to you and see how we can help you. So shortly, we will also head into the studio to break down all the numbers. If this is your first time seeing this video, remember to like and subscribe to this channel, and we look forward to actually showing you more research as well as data analysis regarding our properties as well as in the marketplace. I thank you first. So what most buyers don't realize is that when you're buying a resale property, it's not just about saving money, and it's not also about buying a cheaper property. Because for a resale property, you do understand that you have some advantages over new launches, like the size, the space that you're gonna get. So for resale properties, you usually get a good space as well as size, and this is more advantageous to a new launch property. Like where we are right now, you are getting a 1,259 square feet condominiums that is a resale property, and you're having 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms with the master room attached. And most importantly, in this resale property, it also comes with a WC as well as a yard area, which is very rare if you're comparing it to most of the new launches, because you need to buy the premium 3 bedrooms in order to get that. And do you know what I realized from this property? If you can see that the whole space that we're getting, there is all livable and there's no wasted space because there is no balcony at all. So for resale properties, we still have to accept the fact that the age of the property, as well as the facilities may be a little bit dated, as well as the common area or surroundings, are they being upkept? So in recent years, we've been seeing more older properties. They have been doing all the upgrading works like painting, as well as changing of tiles in the swimming pool area, and perhaps changing some of the outdoor furnitures at the same time. Now, let me give you one tip I always teach my clients, be it a resale or a new launch. Wouldn't you want to have clarity about number 1, the prices it has been transacted, number 2, how far similar units are being exited at, and number 3, the rental that it pulls in? Now ask yourself, wouldn't you want to have the full picture before you make an informed decisions? And on the other hand, new launch isn't just about all the shining stuff. It's not only just about your future potential. It also comes with 3 hidden risks that I'm going to share with you right now. Number 1, a 3 to 4 years wait before you can actually stay or even rent it out. And number 2, you pay the highest PSF with no clarity of how you can exit. Number 3, you're betting on developers' pricing and not based on past demands. So what if the price gap between a new launch and resale can be as much as 20 to 25% differences even in the same area, simply because the PSF entry just makes sense? Now here's where this resale property that I'm going to introduce you going to surprise you. Today we are in a unit not only that is move-in ready, but listed $50,000 below valuation. That's right, it's $50,000 below valuation. And you want to stay all the way to the end of the video because we'll also be sharing with you the surroundings as well as facilities as we do a walkthrough, as well as the special in-studio kind of comparison where we will dive into the numbers, the data, as well as the analysis between this project as well as comparable to the other projects. So you want to stay tuned all the way, and don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. So what you are getting here in this 1,259 square feet unit is a very comfortable and very private walkway. And most importantly, in a normal context of a property, you usually get a very long walkway towards the rooms. But for this property, you get to have this grand entrance because every single area of this is a very squarish and very regular size. So when you come in, you actually have the grandness of the high ceiling, the space, and every single corner you actually fit in your furnitures very nicely without any wasted space. So it's very rare that you get a very nice squarish configuration, especially for a layout like this. Why? Because without the long corridor, you actually have all your rooms in different corners of the unit. And this allows your whole area to be wider, without any walkway, and you have a very grand space that you can have when you're actually living in this unique property. Okay, so for the first room that I'm going to introduce you is going to be the master room, and because we are lacking the walkway space, and that's the reason why you're able to get a very comfortable regular shape for your master room attached toilet. And with this master room, of course, you can see that we are actually fitting a king bed, and you even have a side area where you can put in a small sofa and enough space for even a side table. So this room is very sizable, and with the full height wardrobe that you can see from here, this actually helps you whenever you're actually staying in this property and fit in all the clothing that you have. So I want to also be very transparent regarding a property just like this, because the toilet itself may be a little bit dated and you want to do some upgrading to it so that it can be more modern. Alright, in this corner, you'll get 2 bedrooms with 1 common toilet. And the rooms are also very spacious, and they're all tucked and their own privacy space that you can get. So of course, for this family, they are very minimalist. That's why you can see that there's only a mattress. But for you to even fit in a queen bed, it is definitely possible with full height windows at the same time. So one of the key thing about this property is they have just recently upgraded their aircon as well. So you do not need to change that, and you can actually move in and bring in your luggage immediately. Alright, so the second room that is on the other side of the corner is actually a room where you can even still put in a queen bed as well at the same time. So both rooms are very sizable instead of a irregular layout that sometimes you may see in some of the other properties as well. So now we have 2 rooms on this corner, and they are all sharing a common toilet. Again, I also have to stress that you may want to do some upgrading in terms of your toilet, because the design may not be what you're looking at. Alright, follow me into the living area and the dining area, because I have a very unique placement that I believe is very useful for most families right now. Because of the size of this property and the space that you're getting, which is everything is regular and squarish, you are also able to carve out an additional study room area here if you want to. So this area, you can enclose it up, right? And with a sliding door or even a glass panel, you are actually able to make this into a study space or a work area that is private. And with that on, you can still see that you still have plenty of space even for a L-shaped couch sofa and a 8 to 10 seaters dining area for this entire whole area. So with this advantage, I believe that instead of a 3-bedroom unit, you can easily carve it out into a 3+1 area that is suited for your homestay. So let's take a look at the kitchen and the yard area. So what I really love about this property is that instead of just kitchen space, they actually have the yard, a WC, as well as an additional storeroom in store for you. So you can see that the entire area has already been dealt up in terms of this L-shaped kitchen space. You can actually put in quite a fair bit of your appliances if you want to. And more importantly is potentially become a 3-bed plus study. You have the entire yard, the storeroom, as well as the WC that you can use it for your helpers or just plainly for a storage usage. Now, if you find that this property is suitable for you because you like the space of 1,259 with no wasted space, every area is livable, and you have no balcony, then this property is for you. So get in touch with us, and if you find that this property is something that you really want to go for your family, make a contact with us for your viewing pleasure. While at the same time, continue the video because we're going to show you the surrounding as well as the facilities in a short while. So let's go right now. So in this condominium, you'll get the full facilities where everybody can enjoy. And if you can see this massive swimming pool area, and this is just one of the pool because there's another child's and kids pool at the bottom. But most importantly, I want to draw attention is that do you see the blocks between each other? Their distance is very, very far away. And this is only possible because we have a big enough land size that can constitute to such a big swimming pool. You do not need to actually crowd with each other on a normal weekday or even weekends, it doesn't matter. Now, on my left here, you will see the full clubhouse facilities. And what is most unique about this is that you have everything. We're talking about function rooms, we're talking about a gym, and we also even have a games room where there's a billiard table, there's a table tennis, and also a very unique point, which is a karaoke room at the same time. So with this decked up, you have a full facilities, and there's also 2 function rooms that you can actually make use of, and which means that in a full facilities condo like this, you actually enjoy all the facilities by paying a very small maintenance fee. At the back of this building, it houses something not all condos have. Why? Because you don't only just get 1 tennis court, you've got 2 tennis courts, a basketball court, and a playground, as well as a barbecue area to actually enjoy over a weekend barbecue. So these are few of the facilities that is very seldom seen in most of the condominiums, and because of the sheer size of this condominium, you will not get crowded every single time, even on a weekday or even on a weekend, because you can see that the whole space is actually very wide compared to a lot of the other projects that you may have seen before. Now, if you want to take a look at this massive, beautiful renovated property in this project, as well as the massive facilities that you get to enjoy for your family, don't forget to just contact us for a private tour and we will showcase this unique project for you. But don't forget to continue watching the video, because if you are confused whether it's a new launch or resale that you should be buying, we'll be diving into the resale logic to let you understand what's the difference between a resale as well as a new launch. So I'll see you in the studio shortly, and meanwhile, let me just take a break and let me just enjoy myself over the pool area. Alright, so now in this studio, we're going to really take a dive into the numbers as well as some data to do some comparison. So you don't just rely on your guessing into a property market, and also now you are able to kind of make a decision being supported by all the logics as well as numbers. Well, because numbers cannot lie, right? And I don't think you should also lie to yourself as well. Today, we're going to spotlight one of the biggest undervalued property that we've seen in a while, and I'm not exaggerating. So in a short while, we're going to dive deeper into why the Rivervale might be one of the most overlooked family condos, and how to tell if this is actually an opportunity for you that you'll be waiting for. So if this is your first time actually viewing this video, I want you to like, subscribe, and kind of follow us through as we churn out new content, new education for you on a weekly basis. So we want to really kind of dive into this property, and can you imagine if we are having a 3-bedroom unit, about 1,259 square feet, high floor unit, very squarish layout, and it's just within the $1.5 million property price. And that's already 50,000 below the valuation. So I think this is something that you don't want to miss, especially with there's no balcony, zero space wastage, everything is regular, everything is a livable space, and this isn't a hype, right? This is the Rivervale. So it's quietly kind of sitting under the radar, because a lot of people are kind of just too focused on all the younger, new launch, you know, the design out of it and the hype of everything. So today we really want to kind of dive into why this property, the Rivervale, is a gem, and we are going to look at the numbers. So let us really kind of run through a little bit. So the top 4 properties nearby, of course, we are the few properties that we want to kind of look at. So we're going to do some comparison, but let me just give you some indication of what the Rivervale property is. So this is a property that is in Sengkang area. And this one used to be an EC, and now of course the tenure is since 1997. It's in the OCR zone, and completion is about 2,000 year. So total number is 671 units, which is great because it will actually supports the transactions that we have in the area. So if we start comparing the top 4, okay, I don't want to compare everything. We just want to talk about the top 4. We're talking about the Rivervale. We have Park Green, as well as River Sound, as well as the Quartz. Okay, why do we want to take these 4 as comparison? Because they are more closer to each other. Okay, they are in the same location, if that makes sense. And let me just give you a run through of some of the prices, just to give you an average. So for Park Green, right, the average we're talking about for a similar 3-bedroom, bigger unit type, at least 1,200 square feet and above, they are ranging about 1.33 million, and they TOP in 2004, okay? But most of them are facing the road noises as well as west side. As well as for Quartz, Quartz is TOP 2010. And this one, the range of unit sizes can be from 1,001 all the way to 1,200. And their prices are definitely already above 1.7 million. And of course, Quartz being the property, they are also kind of nearer to the MRT area. So these are maybe some of the reasons why the prices are also a little bit higher. But that says, let us take a look at the River Sound. So River Sound is the youngest, okay, TOP in 2015. And they are smaller 3-bedroom, about 1,066 square feet.
is already asking close to $1,400 per square foot, which translates to 1.5 million. And later on, we will definitely look at the comparison between some of all these units, because we want to dive in deeper to see, hey, today if I'm looking into Sengkang area, I'm comparing some of these resale properties, what are the key traits that we should look at? And layout, I think it plays a very big percentage in terms of consideration factors. Why? Because today when you're buying a property, it's not just about buying, it's also how you're going to sell in future to the next buyer. Alright, so let us take a look, maybe from a location perspective. Let's take a look first. So we have the Rivervale here. Okay, so this is the property, and they're all facing the park connector as well as the river. And we have Park Green is just beside here. It's a smaller development, and the condition, everything, if you've been there, it's not as well maintained, okay, to be honest. Of course, at the same time, you have Riverside, which is further away, and Quartz being the closest to the MRT. We are doing this for comparison accordingly. Okay, so one of the key things that we must understand is if you want to do comparison, be it whether it's a new launch or resale, you also need to kind of compare to the surroundings, and you try to fit in similar age group if you can, similar plot size or number of units. So whatever that you're comparing can be apple to apple and not apple to durian, for example. So you want to compare it as close as possible. If not, you may be looking at the wrong data, you may be looking at the wrong trends and the wrong performance of each property in every single project. Alright, so I think this is very important for you to kind of really understand. Alright, so let us take a look at the numbers. When we are looking at all these four comparisons, we realize there's a very serious PSF gap among all the four. And later on, we will do some comparison. So let us take a look at the first property, and this is Riverside. So Riverside being one of the property that is TOP in 2015. Alright, so TOP to 2015. So this is the youngest property. But this is the furthest, or this is the furthest away. But it's the youngest. Okay, furthest but youngest. So we need to really kind of decide how we want to take part in terms of pricing. So if you can see the 3-bedroom, even though it's 1066 per square foot, the price point for the PSF has already crossing the 1,400 per square feet, and price range is already in the $1.5 million price point, and you can see most of them are not even considered the higher floor units. So we want to dive deeper into doing a comparison between Riverside as well as Rivervale. What are the main difference so that you can actually see it once and for all? How can you compensate in terms of maybe the age of the property, the design of the property, and the pricing as well? So when we put side by side, right, we have the Riverside 1066 square feet. Alright, this is 1066 square feet versus 1259 square feet. Riverside, if you take a look, of course, the coming in of your entrance, and then you have an enclosed kitchen, which is very typical. And I think the advantage of this is that you still have your yard area and you have your utility, WC. If you're talking about 10 years, since 2015 kind of property, these are some of the configuration layout that you expected it to have. Alright, if you don't have, then something is quite worrying. And when you come in, I think every layout is actually well done because they have a proper corner for dining. But of course, this is another configuration that you can see is they have an additional storeroom here. And the only thing that you may want to take note as per compared to Rivervale, Rivervale, their kitchen is not directly in front when you come in. So it's actually tucked right in the center of the entire area, including your entire WC and utility. So anything that Riverside has, Rivervale has as well. And they also have a proper yard, WC and utility. So the only difference is that there is a proper area for storeroom. Although Rivervale also has, but I believe this is not as big, or it's kind of a tuck-in kind of a storeroom. The only difference is that today, if let's say you are looking at placing of furnitures, you can do it generally. Your sofa can be here, and then your dining area can be here. So this is the dining, this is the sofa. So you can actually do it this kind of configuration, and this is where your TV is. And why do we want to do this? Because the moment when you come into Rivervale, right, you have a very private closed kind of entrance, and on the sides, of course, if you want to put in your shelvings for your shoes and everything, you can still do it. So it's long enough for you to actually place that. And the moment when you come in, you actually have a very grand entrance. And for here, I think it helps you to kind of envision that, hey, today when I go in with a very comfortable height ceiling, the whole living, dining, everything's connected, so you get that kind of space. Another thing that to take note is today we do not have any balcony. You do not see any balcony in Rivervale. Whereas Riverfront, you don't only just have one balcony, you have the balcony sharing with the next room. So even with 1066 square feet, you do need to take account how big this balcony space is, which means all your other areas are being compromised in somehow. Okay, this one is a reality check that we have to do. You can't expect you have a big balcony and all your room size and everything is as big as before. So this is definitely something you need to weigh out when you're doing comparison of properties, the unit size, as well as the unit layout. And another thing that you need to take note also is that today, based on the Rivervale, right, when you come in, the whole area is a livable area, all right? That means you can place furnitures, you can place a lot of different things at different corners. Whereas for riverfront, you do have some wasted space in terms of your corridor. So this one you can't help because anything that is about from 2013 onwards, a lot of the layouts do come with this kind of long corridor. Either you accept it, or if you intend to have a wider, bigger area, whether in terms of rooms, living and dining area, then you may want to go for Rivervale type of regular layout. Okay, everything is non-wasted and you have all the corner in terms of your rooms, which is, I think it's almost like a point block kind of HDB concept where everything is well spaced out. So I think this is one aspect that you need to understand. But also, we also want to kind of take a look for Riversound, right? Being a further away property, the key thing is that you are the furthest away, size is the smallest. So you're furthest and your size is smallest and the balcony is huge. And it extends to the other room. So these are all factors that you need to consider. So let us take a look at where Park Green is. So Park Green is here, the Rivervale is here, so it's just side by side. So Park Green being a smaller development, the last when I went to visit, I realized the comparison maintenance is a bit not as good. Alright, so they're side by side, and let's take a look at the transaction volume. So for Park Green, I think the price sizes are very comparable to Rivervale at 1,200 plus square feet, or even the bigger one at 1,356 square feet. The prices you can see for the 1,002 is a really lower price at 1.33, but the bigger units are already 1.5 plus million. I'm very fair. I want to kind of use just the 1,200 square feet unit to do a comparison. Why is it so cheap? Why is it so much cheaper than Rivervale being a smaller development, and may not be certain upside? So this is where a lot of homeowners maybe just look at the pricing and they say that, oh, I want to go for the cheaper properties. But there's a lot of different trade-offs that you need to understand. So let me explain to you a little bit more. So if you take a look at Park Green, right? So the similar size is 1,206 square feet, okay? And the unit transacted was 0719 at about 1.33 million. Wow. Actually, the pricing is very attractive. The key thing is that you also need to understand why is this happening, right? So it's cheaper. Then, of course, when you go to the 1,356 square feet unit, wow, suddenly jump. Could it be because of the higher floor, 1.61 million? It could be because it's higher floor, of course, bigger size. So let us take a look at the site plan and the facing of both type of unit. So you have A and then you have B. So these are the kind of research that we do in depth to help clients to do comparison of different layout, different prices to kind of determine what is the most optimal amount that you can pay for without overspending or overpaying for a certain property. So Stack 19, this is facing the Sengkang East Road as well as the LRT. So this is A, Sengkang East side. So you have the LRT, you have the West Sun. So this side is the West Sun. You need to take a look at all these factors because there must be a reason why certain property units, their prices are lower. Okay, there must be some factors, some trade-off. So although for Stack 16, right, so bigger unit, but it's because it's facing the pool. So facing a pool, there's always certain premium. If I ask you, do you want to compare, do you want to choose between a road-facing noisy unit versus a quiet inward-facing, which one will you pay a premium for? So this is also how next time your buyer going to buy your unit going to think about. So a lot of times, unfortunately, a lot of buyers, they only buy based on what they like now, but they did not think about how they're going to sell in future. So for us, we are always looking at how the future buyer is going to buy from you, and then we start looking at how to purchase it today. Okay, so let us take a look at the layout. So we have both the Stack 19 and Stack 16, right? So let's take a look at 19 first. So very regular, okay, a very longish layout. Also don't have balcony, although they have this planter edge, but no balcony, which is, I think, comparable to Rivervale. And for Stack 19, you can see that the entire area is more livable. You do have a short corridor, but this is palatable. Okay, I think it doesn't matter. But you need to pay up to 1.6 million. Then for Stack 16, this is the unique part where it comes with actually a small study on the corner. But this study don't have window, don't have much stuff. Okay, I don't think you can really fit in a bed. I believe you can put in a chair, maybe use it as a storeroom. Okay, use it as a storeroom, it makes more sense. And the thing is that it does come with a balcony on the other side. But this balcony, like not big enough, not small enough, that kind of configuration. So you can only like put 2 chairs. So I find this configuration is that you're doing it for the sake of doing, and it has no purpose, not much usage. Very short corridor for this as well. And I think for the rest of the layout, they all have the same kitchen yard as well as your household shelter. They will all have the same. So I think this is fine for both layout. But the question is, today, if you are going for a layout like this, you have to pay at least 1.3 million onwards, that you are having your lack of balcony as well as additional space, but you have to face your road and west sun. Okay, we have to accept. Well, if not, you go for the 1.6 million facing pool, but you're paying almost 100 to 150,000 more, then is it worth it? So let us compare the Stack 16, right? Because based on pricing now, or let's just look at based on pricing, then when we compare it to Rivervale, then you can see a very distinctive difference. Balcony is here, Rivervale don't have. And also, of course, the advantage, if you ask me, is that Park Green, you do have a study. And if you really want to configure a study in Rivervale, you can also. So you can actually cut this out, but I do not advise you to turn it into like a box up kind of a room, glass kind of study room that you can do a sliding. I think that will help quite a fair bit in terms of the layout. So if you have a unit like Rivervale and you no need to do anything yet until you find that, oh, maybe I do need an extra study room, then you can configure a study room. And the best part is there's already an air condition here already placed there for you, or that you no need to reroute your aircon, that kind of arrangement. So this also helps in terms of how you want to do for your property management in future. Okay, so I think this is important. And if you look at Rivervale, the latest transaction, we are talking about 0811, is already at 1.45 million at below $1,200 per square foot. But why I want to bring this up, because this is the latest transactions, and I want to show you where 0811 is. This 0811, right, is actually here. Okay, so which means if you talk about, it will be here, okay, from the map. So this one does not face the pool. Okay, so you are basically facing where? You are facing the school, inward facing, so it is really not much noises. Every Rivervale properties are actually quite well placed, but this one, because it faces a school, so it could be a little bit noisier. And it just transacted at 1.45 million. So today, right, if you have a higher floor unit and the facing is quieter, would you want to pay a little bit more than 1.45 million just for that higher floor also? The Riverview that we are having is undervalued by easily $50,000, and it's very cheap. Okay, it's very cheap, the entire Sengkang area, when you do start doing comparison. Let me stress again, is a unit that basically you do not have balcony, and this is on a very high floor unit, and the last transacted has already been 1.45 million, and today we are looking at a few below the valuation. And this is why today I always share, sometimes newer doesn't mean it's better also. You must know where to find the hidden gems, better layout, better PSF value, and more efficiency usage of space that you can buy, and then you can hold on to that property as well. This is also one of the key things that today, if you are looking at a more sizable layout, you require space, you don't like big balconies, you really prefer usable of all areas in the property, then you can actually consider this property. So if you find that this is something that you're looking for, then you can definitely reach out to us, and we can actually arrange a viewing for you and help you to actually organize some of all these thoughts of what your next plan is, and we can help you along with that. All right, so the link is somewhere in the video. You can actually click on it, and then we can get in touch. So if you find that this property is something that you really are interested in after watching the home tour video and as well as this research analysis video, then you may want to reach out to us, and we can actually organize a home tour with you. Or at the same time, if you find that you really require a second opinion in terms of your property journey, you want to click on the QR code and you can actually get in touch with us, or you can click on the link inside the comment and let us see how we can help you progress in this journey moving forward. So I just want to kind of leave you guys with that today, if you are looking for a certain premium quality, not just about the facade, but the value. Okay, the value is also premium. Then don't forget about this, the Rivervale 3-bedroom unit at 1,259 square feet. Or you can just message us the word Rivervale plan. Okay, and then we'll give you a full PSF comparison grid, and we can provide you the layout comparison of what are some of the properties that you're looking at, and then we can see whether how does the Rivervale stands out versus what you've been seeing. And these are all our honest takes to help you guide towards this journey of looking at properties. If you want some more details, just message the Rivervale plan, and we can actually walk you through how this property potentially can be one of your dream home in future. Alright, again, don't forget to like, subscribe to this channel and to this video, and I'll see you guys real soon.